You're born and immediately whisked away. Forget warm hugs. Your welcome package includes a one-way trip to a windy cliffside for your first quality assurance check. Spartan hospitality is truly something special, isn't it? You are presented to a council of grumpy, bearded elders. This is your first official product review, and the judges are looking for any manufacturing defects. One of them pokes you with a stick. Customer satisfaction is clearly not a priority. You pass the inspection, not because you're particularly strong, but maybe the elders were just tired of their clipboard work. Congratulations, you're deemed adequate. Celebrate with some imaginary cake. Your father takes you back. No hug, just a stern nod, like he's inspecting a newly forged spear. Congratulations, you're not a defective piece of property. Your primary function is to not be an embarrassment. Your childhood years are so fun. While other kids play tag, your favorite game is who can endure the most punches without crying. The grand prize is usually not getting punched a second time. Your mother's farewell isn't a hug, but the classic line, return with your shield or on it. Talk about pressure. It's like the first day of school, but with significantly higher stakes and less finger painting. At age 7, you're thrown into the Agoge, Spartan boot camp. Think summer camp, but instead of sing-alongs, there's ritualistic fighting. Oh, and it lasts for 13 years. Hope you didn't get homesick easily. First night in the Agoge, your bed is a pile of reeds you gathered yourself. No mattress, no pillow. It's good for hardening the body, they say. Your body just thinks it's good for getting terrible sleep. You receive your uniform, one single cloak. This serves as your clothes, blanket, and towel for the entire year. Laundry day is a myth. You quickly develop a very distinct personal aroma. First meal, a watery barley broth. Your diet is designed to keep you a little hungry to foster resourcefulness, they claim. In reality, it mostly just fosters intense daydreams about a cheese wheel. In reality, a little hungry means you're hungry enough to eat your own sandals. The only problem is you don't actually get any sandals to wear. A truly flawless system. Walking barefoot on sharp gravel is supposed to harden your feet. In reality, it does a much better job of hardening your soul against any foolish concepts like hope or comfort. Stealing food is officially encouraged. It's not a crime. It's a required course on your syllabus, right between Enduring Cane 101 and Advanced Grunting. Welcome to your class on Applied Larceny. However, if you get caught, you are beaten senseless. Not for the act of stealing, but for the incompetence of being caught. It's a perfect, inescapable circle of Spartan logic. You and your squad decide to attempt a daring heist to steal a piece of cheese. Unfortunately for you, it's guarded more heavily than a king's treasury, complete with tiny watchtowers. You get caught. The whipping that follows teaches you a valuable lesson. Cheese tastes a lot like pain and regret, a flavor you will become very familiar with during your training. Your instructor teaches you not to cry. If you do cry, you're tossed to the older boys. They will then give you a much better reason to cry. It's very efficient. You learn to read and write, but only just enough. Sparta has no need for poets. It needs warriors who can read attack orders and, eventually, carve their friends' names on tombstones. You learn laconic wit, which is Spartan for clever comebacks. Answering a question incorrectly results in a motivational punch to the shoulder. It's a very direct method of teaching. An instructor asks, "Why do we fight?" You guess, "For honor?" Wrong. "For Sparta?" Wrong again. The correct and only answer is because we are ordered to. Creativity is discouraged. The older boys have absolute authority over you. Imagine if your mean older brother was also a prison warden with a bad temper. That's them. They are your new legally mandated bullies. There's an annual festival, not a music festival, but a competition to see who can endure the most whipping at the altar of Artemis. It's Sparta's version of a talent show. You don't win, but you also don't pass out immediately, so that's something. Your performance is deemed acceptable. You don't get a trophy, but you do get a lot of bruises. Bathing? That happens in a freezing cold river. Hot water is considered a sign of weakness and moral decay. Soap is a strange, decadent myth you hear about from Athens. You watch the Helot children, slaves, working in the fields. Their life looks hard and miserable. But then you see them eating a full meal. Suddenly, their situation seems complicatedly appealing. You learn to dance. Not the waltz, but the Pyrrhic war dance, performed in full armor with weapons. It's basically the world's most dangerous and exhausting aerobics class. Jazz hands are replaced with spear thrusts. You are taught that your greatest love must be for Sparta. Personal feelings are a distant second, maybe third, or, more accurately, not even on the list. Your heart is state-issued property. Friendships are formed. They are not based on shared hobbies, but on the sacred bonds of shared starvation and helping each other hide bruises from the instructors. It's the ultimate trauma bond. You start growing your hair long, a sign of a free Spartan warrior. It looks majestic and intimidating. It's also an excellent rent-free apartment complex for an entire civilization of head lice. As a teenager, you join the Cryptea. Think of it as your final graduation exam. The assignment: sneak into the countryside and assassinate a helot without being seen. It's pass-fail with very high stakes. You pass. There's no pride, just the cold night air and a sudden urge to go home. Too bad home is now just another word for the military barracks you sleep in. At 20, you graduate the Agoge. Congratulations! You're now a full-time soldier. Your graduation gift is not a car, but a crushing new set of responsibilities and a lifetime of military service. You're accepted into a Syssitia, a common mess hall. It's like an exclusive club, except the food is terrible and membership is mandatory for life. You can never, ever cancel your subscription. The specialty dish, black broth. A delightful mix of pig's blood, boiled pork, salt, and vinegar. Its smell is so potent, it's considered a potential chemical weapon against the Persian army. You must eat the black broth without making a face. Wincing is a sign of weakness. You spend more time training your facial muscles to remain neutral than you do training your biceps. You are required to contribute food to the mess hall from your personal plot of land. The only problem? You've never actually seen this land because you live in the barracks 24/7. The state orders you to marry. There's no romance or dating involved. It's a civic duty, like paying taxes. But its purpose is to produce more tiny, screaming future soldiers for Sparta. Your wedding night is a strange ritual. Your bride awaits you in the dark, with her head shaved and wearing a man's cloak. It's less romantic getaway and more confusing covert operation. Afterwards, you must sneak back to the barracks before dawn. Being caught with your own wife is considered shameful and undisciplined. It's the ultimate walk of shame for doing something completely normal. Your wife is a true Spartan woman. She can probably throw a javelin further than you, and her opinions are stronger than the mess hall's black broth. You are mildly terrified of her. You rarely see your wife. Your relationship isn't built on conversation, but on quick, sneaky visits and the mutual hope of producing a son who passes the cliffside inspection. It's peak romance. At 30, you become a full citizen with the right to vote. You can now participate in democracy. Of course, there's only one correct way to vote, and not choosing it is inadvisable. You get your full hoplite kit. This includes a ridiculously heavy bronze shield called an aspis, a spear long enough to poke the next town, and a tiny sword for when things get really, really bad. And the iconic Corinthian helmet. It looks incredibly cool and intimidating. It also eliminates all peripheral vision and makes you functionally deaf. You'll look great, but you won't see or hear your death coming. You spend most of your adult life training in the phalanx formation. It's essentially a tightly packed wall of men and shields. Your personal space is now a historical myth, just like comfortable shoes. The phalanx is incredibly cramped. You are so close to your comrades that you can smell what the man in front had for lunch and feel the breath of the man behind on your neck. Your shield doesn't just protect you, its left half protects the man next to you. He is your shield buddy, your partner in not dying. Your lives are literally interlocked. No pressure. You desperately hope your shield buddy doesn't have terrible body odor since you'll be next to him for hours. Unfortunately, you're rarely that lucky. The enemy isn't the only offensive thing you'll face. Moving as one solid block is key. If one person trips over a rock, the entire formation can collapse like a row of very angry, very shark dominoes. Walking has never been so stressful. War is declared. You don't feel a surge of glorious purpose. You mostly just feel like it's another Tuesday at the office. Except your coworker might try to stab you, and your quarterly review involves spears. You march for miles in heavy bronze armor. Horses are for commanders and people Sparta actually likes. For a hoplite, there's only your calloused feet and a grim, unending sense of determination. Before battle, you calmly comb your long hair. This ritual is meant to show your coolness under pressure. On the inside, however, your brain is a screaming chorus of pure, unadulterated panic. You look across the field at the enemy army. There are a lot of them, and they have archers. Spartans consider archery to be a bit cowardly, a very annoying, very pointy form of cowardice. The war horn sounds, the phalanx advances. You don't charge or run, you walk. A slow, rhythmic, terrifying walk that says, "We aren't in a hurry to kill you, but we absolutely will." A volley of arrows darkens the sky. There's nothing to do but raise your shield, tuck in, and pray. You're mostly praying that your shield buddy doesn't suddenly remember he left his stove on. The two phalanxes collide. It's nothing like the movies. There's no fancy dueling, just a massive, brutal shoving match with very sharp sticks. It's more like a rugby scrum, but with fatalities. Your entire view is the sweaty back of the man in front of you. Your job is to poke your spear through the gap and thrust it at anything that feels soft. It's very impersonal. The noise is deafening, a wall of screams and crashing metal. You can't hear any orders from your commander. Your new strategy? Just copy whatever the guy next to you is doing and hope he knows. The man next to you falls. There's no time for a dramatic monologue or tears. Your only job is to pull the body back, step into the gap, and keep the wall solid. It's grimly efficient. The battle ends suddenly. You have no idea who won until one side just gives up and starts running away. Luckily, this time it isn't your side. You win by default, basically. You survived. The good news is you're alive. The bad news is every muscle aches, you're covered in bruises, and also covered in various fluids you'd rather not identify. Victory! Time for a massive party, right? Wrong. Your victory celebration consists of two exciting activities: burying your dead friends and spending hours hammering dents out of your shield. You return to Sparta. There's no welcoming parade or cheering crowds. Your grand return involves quietly walking back to the barracks for a celebratory bowl of, you guessed it, more black broth. Life goes on. The cycle is always the same. Train, eat, fight, repeat. It's basically an office job, but your desk is a battlefield, and your stapler is a 6-foot spear. You have a son. You look at this tiny human and realize he's destined for the exact same life of pain, hunger, and fighting. It's a feeling that's half pride, half soul-crushing dread. You get older. You measure your life not in years, but in battles fought. You have more scars on your body than you have memories of being home with your family. A great work-life balance. Another major war begins. This time, however, the enemy looks stronger and more numerous. Your own phalanx feels a little thin. The odds are not what you would call encouraging. Your mother sees you off with the same old line, "Return with your shield or on it." After all these years, it sounds less like a motivational speech and more like a practical prediction. In the chaos of battle, your spear shatters. You draw your short sword, the Xiphos. This is the things have gone horribly wrong part of the plan. Time for some up-close and personal work. You take a hit, a bad one. There's no dramatic music, just a sharp pain and the sudden calm realization that you won't be making it back for dinner, or ever. You fall backwards onto the ground. With your last ounce of strength, you clutch your heavy shield. At least you didn't drop it. That would have been truly embarrassing. Your final thought isn't of glory or honor or the future of Sparta. It's about that one specific piece of cheese you failed to steal when you were 9. That really stings. Your comrades carry your body back on your shield, just as instructed. Your mother's famous farewell turned out to be less of a motivational quote and more of a literal transportation arrangement. Your name is carved onto a stone marker in Sparta. This is the only honor granted to men who fall in battle. No statue, no parade, just your name on a rock. Very minimalist. Your wife doesn't weep, she stands with stoic pride. Your young son stares at your name on the stone, his training at the Agoj set to begin. The glorious, miserable cycle continues. The end.